Ryan Garcia has really taken a different approach to the game of boxing these days. You know, ever since his loss to Gervonta Davis, he's really been chilling with a lot more winners recently. Ryan Garcia has been chilling with the GOAT, the greatest of this generation, Floyd Money Mayweather, and really enjoying himself, you know, learning from the GOAT, taking notes, and just hanging out and being friends with him. And what I love about this the most is, you know, it's making Oscar De La Hoya madder than ever before. Oscar knows he's going to lose his prize fighter eventually. Yes, he still has Ryan Garcia on that contract, and he has him good, and he can't really leave that contract. So for now, Oscar does have Ryan where he wants him, but he won't have him forever. Ryan is already, in his head, done with Oscar De La Hoya, and I don't blame him. Oscar De La Hoya, I told y'all, he's fake. He's the worst promoter in the world. He always got his head in the videos. He's a terrible promoter. And Ryan's making a good decision. Clearly, you could see he's probably going to go with PBC, but he's probably going to have Floyd help him, you know, advise him with a lot of stuff. You could tell he really actually cares for Ryan and thinks he's got a lot of potential, and I do too. So hopefully, you know, going forward, Ryan continues to chill with good guys like Floyd Money Mayweather. I still think Derrick James is a good trainer. Not as good as other people think, but still a good trainer. And I feel like Ryan is in good hands. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm ready to see Ryan get back in action. You know, he fought in May. I think he should get back in action in like October, maybe November. See who he fights. There's a lot of options out there. I'm really curious to see who. Instead of Tank fighting a rematch with Pitbull Cruz, I'd rather see Ryan Garcia fight Pitbull Cruz. I think that would be a much more entertaining fight. And Tank should go for the bigger dogs. Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez. That's who Tank should be going for, not no Pitbull Cruz. Come on, Tank. Why are you going backwards? Stop going backwards. But Ryan Garcia is impressing me these days. And in other boxing news, they just announced October 15th in Australia, the WBC and the WBO champion, Tim Tszyu versus Brian Mendoza. Now listen, this Tim Tszyu versus Brian Mendoza fight is going to be very entertaining because obviously I think Tim Tszyu's the favorite, and for good reason. I like Tim Tszyu. I think Tim Tszyu's elite at 154. I think he's one of the best 154s. He's going to win, and he's going to remain being the mandatory for Jermell Charlo after Jermell Charlo fights Canelo, and I'm sure that fight will be approaching sooner than later. We'll get Tim Tszyu versus Charlo eventually. But Brian Mendoza versus Charlo. I hate to disrespect Brian Mendoza. I like him. He's got heart. Picked up the biggest upset victory of his career against Sebastian the Towering Inferno Fundora, who was 6'6". Fundora was winning every single round, and then Mendoza caught him, knocked him out, and Fundora was not able to recover, and he won by knockout. But I think Fundora was on his way to winning every round, and if they rematched, I think Fundora would win. Fundora, you know, we'll see what happens with him. But when it comes to Brian Mendoza versus Tim Tszyu, I don't think Tim Tszyu's a one-hit wonder. I think Tim Tszyu's elite at 154. And even though I like Brian Mendoza, I think this is a bad style for Brian Mendoza. I think Tim Tszyu will absolutely beat Brian Mendoza. I expect it to be an entertaining fight, a firework type of fight, but Tim Tszyu will prevail. I just think he's a little bit too much for Brian Mendoza. Now, Brian Mendoza's lucky to be here. I'm happy for him. But the truth and reality is that Tim Tszyu is an elite fighter, and I've been saying this for a long time, that Tim Tszyu is an elite fighter. So this is going to be a firework type of fight. I'm excited that they've announced it. It's going to be for a title in Australia, which you can already see everything is going in Tszyu's favor. They want Tszyu to win. He's the A side, and he's just too good for Brian Mendoza. I'd rather see Tim Tszyu versus Sebastian Fundora, but it's unfortunate Fundora lost to Brian Mendoza, so we're not going to get Fundora versus Tim Tszyu, which is a fight that I actually had been talking about for months and months. I wanted to see that fight, and now Fundora is getting the short end of the stick because of Brian Mendoza. But don't worry, Tim Tszyu will win that fight, and I think the 154-pound division will start to shape up again.